Good afternoon and welcome to the Fort Collins Area Chamber of Commerce's Small Business Celebration. I'm Ann Hutchison. I'm the Executive Vice President at the Fort Collins Chamber, and I am so excited to be your MC today. We are very excited to have you join us at this virtual event. Small businesses are vital to our economic prosperity. They provide jobs and they give back to the community in innumerable ways. Now more than ever, small business needs to be recognized. Our celebration today features an amazing keynote speaker, a release of a grassroots campaign that will provide you with free tools and resources to celebrate small business throughout October and November, and just that opportunity to say, good job, small business. We certainly couldn't do this event without our many sponsors, and we want to do a special shout out to them. You'll see their logos rotating around our window throughout our presentation today, but a very special thank you goes out to Ent Credit Union, BizWest Media, the Coloradoan, Elevations Credit Union, Total Facility Care, Williamson & Co. PC, 212 Degree Coaching, Independent Financial, Town Square Media, Alpha Graphics, KRFC 88.9 FM Radio Fort Collins, Mantooth Marketing, and Signorama. We want to make the most of your time today, so let's get right to our keynote presentation. Joining us from Ent Credit Union is Business Development Manager Casey Mock. Welcome, Casey.
Thank you, Ann. Everyone hear me? Ent Credit Union is excited to be a part of the Fort Collins community and the Fort Collins Area Chamber of Commerce. As you know, we opened on North College in June. We're opening 2 more facilities before the end of the year, one on I-25 in Harmony and one on South College. But it is my distinct pleasure today to introduce the Small Business Celebration keynote. Have you ever wondered if there is an app for that? Our keynote speaker has the answer. Meet your new nerdy best friend, Beth Z, author, speaker, nerd. Since her first Commodore 64 computer, Beth has made a verb out of the word nerd. She's here to help you filter through thousands of apps, gadgets, widgets, and doodads to find the perfect and free bargain technology tools to work at home. Although the only real trophy she ever won was for making the perfect French fries at McDonald's in high school, Beth Z has been featured on as best speaker list by Meetings and Conventions Magazine and Meetings.net. She has written 3 books on apps and speaks to about 10,000 people a year, although about 9,999 of them can't pronounce her last name. Please join me in welcoming the clever chick who spent recess in middle school grading papers for her teachers, your new nerdy best friend, Beth Z.
Oh, I feel the energy. I feel the happiness. I feel the love. Okay, I'm sitting alone in my house and you're sitting alone where you are, but I still feel you. Yay! The trophy thing is true. Hi, my name is Beth Z. I am your nerdy best friend. And today we're going to be talking about what happens when we use technology from the time we wake up till the time we go to bed to make everything more efficient. What? We're already doing that? Yes, indeed. But I'm going to give you some different things. But first, do me a favor. Stand up. Everybody, push back from the computer and stand up. When you stand up, put your hands in the air. What? Put your hands up in the air. Now, when I count to 3, I want you to reach for your nearest mobile device, and as soon as you have it, go back to your computer and type in the chat, got it. All right, ready? 1. I haven't gotten to 1 yet, people. I see that, Casey. 1, 2, 3. 1, 1,000. 2, 1,000. 3, 1,000. We see. Got it. Oh, look at all those people. You got it. Of course you got it. It's right there. It's within a second of you right now because we're small business people. We have to keep it next to us. But I bet that it's within 30 seconds of your person at any time of day or night. What? We're addicted to the things. And I want you to think about this for a moment.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
There's a little controversy about whether this is 100% true, but I read it on the internet, so it must be. Common thought says that the devices that are within less than 1 second from you now and 30 seconds at any given time of day or night are more powerful than the technology they used to put a man on the moon. So as we talk to you today about all the things that are literally at your fingertips, I want you to remember that you have more power in your pants pocket than has ever existed in the history of the world for professionals and small business people like us. All right, let's get on with some of the wonderful tools I have for you today. Again, this is imagining that perfect day where everything is easier because of technology. You wake up, and in the old days, you would reach to your side table where your phone is working as your alarm clock, but nowadays your phone is in bed with you because you are using the Sleep Time app. What that does is it actually lays on your bed and monitors your tossing and turning, so it understands when you are in a lighter sleep level. This is so important for the times we're in today. There's no doubt that we're more stressed than anybody of any generation we know as a society, and our sleep is being affected. So this tool really helps us understand where our sleep is and how you can wake up. Now, if you have an older phone like a Samsung Galaxy Note 7, don't use this because they catch fire. Instead, you might want to use a tool like this one. It's called Alarmy. Watch. It's the world's most annoying alarm clock. The moment where we pause for a second so you can text the person in your life who most needs that tool. All right, now we're getting going, and the first thing you do is you reach for your phone because that's what you do, and you check your email, and
You've got mail.
Of course you've got mail. You've always got email. This time though, it's one of those clients you cannot figure out for the life of you. Every time you talk to that person, you feel like you're letting them down. You feel like you are not understanding their needs and you are disappointing them. Have you ever had somebody like this where you just couldn't figure out how to make them happy? Well, this tool is called Crystal. And what Crystal does, let you look at that name. By the way, y'all get all of these apps, so you don't have to worry about this. You have the latest PowerPoint. I'll give you that in just a minute. Crystal is what I call a creepy personality tool. Really, it's what I call #helpful but creepy. It goes through social media and any writings people have to put your contacts into one of 64 personality profiles to help you figure out what makes them tick. This is me. I am enthusiastic, optimistic, and visionary. I'm decisive, forward-thinking, and spontaneous with a natural aversion to rigid structure. Read, she can't hold a job. When speaking to me, use expressive language, use your humor, speak casually. I'm talkative, friendly, and appreciate my peers who let their guard down, expect me to talk with my hands, and use hyperbole every single time. And you should use expressive language to match my enthusiasm. Here's what drains me: nitpicking, not being heard, being too cautious. I resist formality and consider it limiting to my creative expression. I might take nitpicking personally, and I don't take criticism at all. Read, she can't hold a job, right? These are pathetic characteristics, but they're true. And when I read this, I was kind of shocked, like, how in the world did this tool understand me? But it uses artificial intelligence to look up and figure out your personality. Now, some of you are probably thinking, yeah, that's too creepy for words. There's no way I would ever use it. But let me show you why you should. Remember, first thing in the morning, you got that email from that person you cannot figure out how to help. Well, I had a boss I could not figure out, and his name is Troy. Troy knows I do this, by the way, but Troy was my boss. He hired me to work with him in his company. We were friends. And then I started working for him, and I don't know what happened. Like, I would have a meeting and he would leave, and he wouldn't laugh at my jokes. And he offered me blunt criticism on several occasions and was nitpicky. Seriously. Like, I couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong and why we weren't getting along. We were friends, but we could not work together. So years later, after I left, I looked up Troy, and here he is. He prioritizes achievement, pursues goals aggressively and methodically, and doesn't like it when someone makes a decision on his behalf. What comes naturally to him? Efficiency, discipline, ensuring quality. You can count on him to speak up and offer constructive criticism. That's part of what he does. Don't take it personally when he says something bluntly, and be direct if you need something from him. I take it personally every time someone says something bluntly. So it was no wonder that Troy and I had challenges. Look at this. When speaking to him, stay on topic, avoid sarcasm, skip the small talk. That's all I got. So it was logical to me that when I read this, Troy and I couldn't figure out how to work together. Can you imagine if I had known these things about Troy and he had known these things about me when we worked together, if we had looked each other up and done this personality check? He would have known to send in a pinch hitter to listen to my jokes before I got to the real stuff. I would have known to blow off his criticism. It wasn't that I was a bad employee. It's that deep down, Troy is a bad person. Not really, Troy, if you're watching. Just joking. But seriously, can you imagine what our dynamic would have been had we been able to figure that out earlier? Now it's time to get going. And this is a tool I've been using quite a bit. Right now in your inbox things are coming in, and you don't need to deal with them today. You need to deal with them, but you don't need to deal with them today. That's why I've been using this tool called followupthen.com. Now, truth is, some of you right now have the capability to do this with snooze buttons with a lot of your emails, but maybe you're not using them. I use Follow Up Then, and here's why. I moved to Nashville but a couple of years ago, and so we've really gotten into the scenes here in terms of all of the different musics and shows and things like that. So we had several tickets for programs when COVID hit and things started being postponed and canceled. So instead of having to make a list of things I needed to check over and over and over again to make sure that I was keeping them in my purview, I used followupthen.com, and I keep sending the tickets that I don't know the status of to 2 weeks at followupthen.com or 2 months at followupthen.com. Then it comes back to me and it says, do you want to keep postponing it, or do you want to deal with it now, or what have you? It has all kinds of little tricks. Have you ever had that person in your life who you're working on a project with this person, right? And you need a piece that person is going to provide by Tuesday so that you can get everything done by Thursday so you don't have to work over the weekend. Yes? So here we are, Wednesday night, and you realize that person has not written you back on Tuesday with the piece you need. Well, Follow Up Then has a little capability that lets you add a note that says, if I have not heard by this person by Tuesday, let me know that I haven't, and then I will be able to follow up without having to remember, because I have a life and that person had a life and everybody forgot, and I got to get to this. All right. Some of our industries have been hit hard, and some of our industries in the small business arena are really getting busy, and there's a lot of flux. There are a lot of things going on. So you are interviewing somebody to come be on your team, and you're setting up a time to meet. I have to tell you, going back and forth trying to find a time to meet is a waste of your time. And there are a lot of things in the technology arena right now that are helping us with this. My favorite is called X.AI. I didn't make up the name. I think it's kind of dumb. It's been around for several years and it's taken on several iterations. Let me bump it up there a little bit so you can see it. It's taken up several different iterations, and it's really come to a point where it's kind of all encompassing. So how it works is that you can, a number of different ways, have artificial intelligence work with your schedule to schedule times to meet. So here is a person who is writing and saying, let's get the training session on the calendar. Please schedule 2 hours at my office at the end of next week, right? Call it session 1, make Alex optional. So this artificial intelligence tool is what this artificial intelligence tool does is it reads all of the calendar items, understands your calendar, understands the natural language, and takes care of everything. Sends out invites, puts people on notice, sends them options. You can connect your calendar so that all of your preferences are in there. For example, sometimes I go through this thing where I'm doing all these tech interviews and I'm inviting people to tell me about their technology. And I'll say, I want 15-minute sessions and 45 minutes in between them. So those are the options that the scheduler has to schedule all my meetings. You can share a personalized link in your email and have them pick their own time. Now, I got to tell you, when I am dealing with vendors, if someone wants to sell me something and they send me a note out of the blue and they say, hi, I want to sell you something. Could you pretty please, at my convenience, take your time to find a time to meet? Thanks. I'll let you know. No, I want you to spend a little time kind of coddling me and wooing me and getting me on your calendar. But the other day, I realized I wasn't the center of the universe. Seriously. I realized there are a lot of us out there who have been using the self-serve line at the grocery store for years. We would rather not talk to anybody or go back and forth or be coddled or anything. We would rather just go and punch a button and be done with it all. So that's why I like X.AI. It's got all these options in there. So you can make it so somebody can go punch a button. You can make it so that, and they fill out their own time. You can make it so that you copy and paste a grid of times that goes out to them very quickly and easily. And you can make it so that the artificial intelligence goes back and forth with the person to find a time to meet. These are all options. So it used to be that X.AI kind of made it look like their artificial intelligence agent was a person. And they got a lot of negative feedback about that. So they have very recently created, this summer, they released something that is very robot-like. They call it Scheduler because they have one called Amy Ingram, AI, get it? She has a brother, Andrew Ingram, AI, get it? So there's Amy and Andrew, but people were pushing back because it's pretty creepy when you're being fooled by a robot like that. So now it's just Scheduler if you want to have a very non-person kind of event. But what happens with this kind of technology is that we get creeped out pretty easy. And let me show you something else that may creep you out. Watch this.
Let's say you want to call a restaurant, but maybe it's a small restaurant which is not easily available to book online. The call actually goes a bit differently than expected. So take a listen.
may I hear you?
Hi, I'd like to reserve a table for Wednesday the 7th.
For 7 people?
It's for 4 people.
4 people when? Today?
Next
Tonight?
Wednesday at 6 p.m.
Oh, actually we reserve for like upper like 5 people. For 4 people you can come.
How long is the wait usually to be seated?
For when, tomorrow or weekday or?
For next Wednesday, the 7th.
Oh no, it's not too busy. You can come for 4 people, okay?
Oh, I gotcha. Thanks.
Yep. Bye bye.
So obviously, that was a non-obvious fake person making a reservation and understanding in natural language what the person was saying. The creepy thing about this is that this was Google's keynote address in March of 2018. By March of 2019, we all have the capability to have this technology that will call and make dinner reservations for you on your phone without you being there with artificial intelligence. Where are my Android people? Raise your hand. All right, my Android people, y'all have it built in with the Google Assistant. And where are my Apple people? Y'all have to download Google Assistant as a separate app. Where are my BlackBerry people? I can't help you. I'm sorry. You're out of luck. But the rest of you can use that technology. All right, let's go back to your day and let me tell you about this. X.AI is a really cool way to schedule meetings, but we have been meeting ourselves to death, correct? We have been putting ourselves in these boxes in Zoom and meeting and meeting and meeting and wasting our own time because we are just waiting for updates. So I found this tool this week and I really like it. It's called CoMeet and it's asynchronous meetings. So what CoMeet does is it creates the opportunity for you to do quick 2-minute videos back and forth rather than trying to find a time to meet. So it's little updates, just like if you all got together on your Zoom meeting to have that update meeting, and it does very quick updates. And it sits in your Google Calendar. So here is me and my assistant. We have started using it. She just had a baby. Yay! She just had a little baby and she has another child who's like 4 years old, 3 or 4 years old. Guess I should know that. Oops. She has 2 kids who are very young. It's very hard for us to find a time where her kids are not with her and she can have a few minutes. So instead of that, we have completely changed to this format. So I write her about a cool thing or an update. She writes me back and she's not writing me. She's just quick clicking on and giving me an update with video. This works so much better than trying to find a time to meet or 50,000 emails, which is what we used to do. So I'm really into this asynchronous learning thing, and CoMeet right now is free. Isn't it weird? Now it's like 10 o'clock in the morning, and all of a sudden you're finally sitting down to actually do work. You're going after that email, and it's just relentless. You get some of it done, it comes back. You get some of it done, it comes back. It's just so annoying. Here's what I've been using for email. It's called Unroll.me. Unroll.me is pretty simple. In the email world, there's a difference between spam and bacon, just like real life. What? I know, right? Spam, we know what spam is. Spam is anything we don't want. Whether it's a legislative update we no longer need, or an email subscription that for a magazine we no longer want to read, or a really good offer from a Nigerian prince. Bacon is email we want, But we can't have it every day because it just clogs everything up. Bacon are those updates from your kids' schools. Bacon are the legislative updates you do want to read. Bacon is that Bed Bath & Beyond coupon that I swear to gosh, I will remember this time when I need to go to Bed Bath & Beyond and get my 20% off one item, right? All these things are bacon. You want them, but they keep adding up and adding up. So what Unroll.me does is it puts all of those emails, all of your subscriptions in one list. And then you can click and unsubscribe from everything one by one, and it'll unsubscribe for you just by unclicking. If you want to keep something and you don't want to have it come regularly, like all those updates from LinkedIn, you want to know they're there, but you don't necessarily want them to come in one by one, you just click them and they become in a digest. So rather than getting 17 emails in one day, you get one with 17 headlines. All right, so I'm going to do a quick thing here. Anne, would you help me? In the chat, everybody, go ahead and put how many unread emails do you have? How many unread emails do you have? Just take a look at your phone. I know it's right there. Who has the most unread emails? And wait till those numbers come in and give me some help in understanding. What kind of numbers are we seeing out there? 22? Come on, you can do better than that. What else is out there? Oh, Casey says she's embarrassed to admit. Casey, come on up here for a second. Could we get Casey highlighted with me? Casey's like, no, don't do it. But Casey, I want to help you out with something. All right. So if you don't want to give me the real number, make up a ridiculous number that that is close to the real number.
Oh, wait, Anne has more than me.
Anne has more than you. All right. So Anne is probably pretty modest in the whole thing. She wrote 3,215. I'm going to make up a number and give it to Casey. All right, Casey, you're going to take on the persona of somebody who really needs help with email, because I know there are people out there who need help with email, and you're going to help them by giving them this help. All right. So let's say you have not 3,200, but 32,000 unread emails. Okay, Casey? Okay.
My anxiety is
501 unread emails. That's how many you have. Okay. So each email takes 11 seconds to deal with. And y'all play along at home, all the other chamber members. Each email takes 11 seconds to deal with. So let's do a little math. So 32,501 emails times 11 seconds equals divided by 60 and divided by 60 again. It's going to take 99 hours. 99 hours of your life if you were to go through 32,501 emails.
It might also take 99 bottles of beer.
Yes. Oh, that gets. Yeah. Hey, sponsors are funny. Thank you so much, Casey. So obviously, Casey doesn't have that problem, but many of us do. 99 hours. Here's another tool I've been using to help with my email. It's called Spike. And seriously, this has really changed some of the dynamics I have with the email problems I have. I do have problems, especially when I'm checking email from my phone. Because when I'm on my computer and there's a long email and there's a long thread, it just seems easier to write back. But when I'm on my phone, like all of that front matter and back matter and the thickness of each email, the amount I have to scroll, just kind of overwhelms me. So what Spike does is it converts the look of your phone emails into a chat kind of look. So instead of having the beginning and the end and then a short message in the middle that you have to actually deal with, all that comes through on your side is the short message in the middle. And then you write back a short message, and when that person gets it, it looks just like a regular email on their end. So instead of going back and forth with these long texts, I can sit there and get through my emails in a matter of minutes. Also, it groups it by person. So when my manager writes to me, instead of having her send one email about this one project and one email about this one project, it will group all of the emails that come to me from her without any other people involved, just whatever group it is, right? It'll group them all in one chat looking thing. So I can just pop her back a message regarding that part rather than having to read one of her emails, respond to it, read another email, respond to it. Again, this is taking back time on my day so that I don't have to deal with that. Spike does all kinds of things besides reformatting the email to make it look more like chat. It has a smart calendar that helps you do scheduling as well. It has priority listing. It has all kinds of things. When I was writing my latest book, I evaluated a whole bunch. I'm actually at 6 books now. I evaluated a whole bunch of different tools instead of just Gmail, your standard one, and Spike was my second favorite one. In fact, this is the only one I use now on my phone, even though I have like 6 different email tools that I could use from my phone. All right. Now real work begins. Wait, what? What is happening? I was just about to get on a call and the dog started barking. They've been quiet all day and now all of a sudden they're making all this kind of noise. But that's okay because I'm using Crisp. Now, some technologies are including Crisp and this type of tool inside the video conferencing, but I really like it. So Crisp will use artificial intelligence to mute the sounds that are coming from your home. How many of y'all have that barking dog? So what is it, a 2 bark alarm system for 2 dogs at the house, or the crying baby, or the keyboard click, or what have you? So listen very carefully. There is a on-off button in the center of this video, and then I'm going to play the video. So at first I'm going to play it, and you're going to hear the barking dog in the background.
If you can, try to show more of yourself. Push your camera back.
All right, and you can see the red is the barking dog on the audio analysis. Now I'm going to click this button to turn off the barking dog. The red disappears, and here's what you're left with.
Your computer back so you can show those hand gestures. Don't be afraid to just
The dog is gone. It's the same text.
To get into a nice outfit if you must. It also feels a little bit more professional.
But the dog is gone. The crying baby.
To summarize, we all agreed that we need to rewrite the contract. And with the banks, we'll take a step back and use our own capital instead to buy the remaining.
I know, right? Wow! This is a game changer for so many of us who are now working from home. A lot of people are a lot more forgiving now of those kind of background noises, but this will help you make sure you have a professional side every time you go up. All right. Let's now go put the dogs away. Oh, the phone is ringing. The phone is always ringing. Something's always happening. And this time it is your mom. So many of us are caught in a sandwich generation, right? So many of us are taking care of kids, taking care of parents, and trying to keep track of all the things that are going on, especially since it's a pandemic, right? Your parents' health, people you know health is always a concern, and you can't go to every meeting with them. This tool is called a bridge, and they just got some funding. They're free right now. It is 100% designed for you to take it on medical appointments and record the medical appointment so that you can play it back later. It analyzes all the text. It defines all of the medical words. it highlights all of the tasks that the doctor, the tests, the things they have to do at home, all of the tasks that come out of the conversation. In times of stress, so I read this study the other day from the Stress Management Society, and most of the time we can process 7 messages at a time, right? 7 pieces of information that come to us, we can get 7 of them at a time. In times of stress, that goes down to 3. That changes from 7 to 3. We lose more than half of our comprehension ability. In addition, when there's traumatic news, we're more likely to hear the last thing said or the most shocking or important thing said, and that's it. My mom had cancer. She had it for 7 years, and so there were lots of doctor's appointments. And my dad would go with her, and when they'd come home, we would be like, okay, give us all the details. What kind of cell? What kind of treatment? What kind of radiation? And all they would remember is cancer, radiation, cancer, chemo. Like, they wouldn't process anything else, and we wanted all the details. So this tool to me is amazing. You send it with the person who is going to the doctor. That person can share it with other family members who want to keep up apprised. And it even hooks up with some discount pharmacy tools to help you find good prices on any medications that they are sharing. I know. Very helpful. I wish that this had been around a few years ago. So, all right, you took care of mom. Everything's going good. And now it's your first morning crisis. If you get to 11 o'clock in the morning and that's your first crisis, that's not a bad day. So your first morning crisis is that you get this email. It's a little hard, tough to read. I will read it to you. This is one that I actually got. It said, hey, your Uber account was signed into in Argentina. Was that you? And I'm like, no, that's not me. I'm not in Argentina. I'm in my house. And there's no way. I haven't even used Uber in 2 years. The problem is that many of us use and reuse the same usernames and passwords. Write this down. If you take nothing else from this session, understand that you need to have a unique, unguessable password for every single site you visit. A unique, unguessable password for every single site you visit. You can no longer reuse passwords, period, in 2020. In 2013, but hey, we're not moving backwards. 2020. All right. This is what I use to keep track of passwords. It's called LastPass. And what LastPass lets you do is you create one password that gets you into a vault where all of your other passwords are saved. And then when you are in that vault where all the other passwords are saved, you can generate unique, unguessable passwords for every single site you visit. You getting the picture? You can use this tool to keep track of them. Now, I want you to do something honest for me and give me an idea, give me a summary of what happens in the chat, would you please? In the chat, I want you to be honest. Do you have a unique, unguessable password for every single site you visit? I want people to see how many people are in the same boat. All right, tell me, Anne, what's happening? Are people being honest? Most people reuse passwords. We're all using the same password. Everybody in the universe. Yeah, most people are reusing passwords, and we can't do that. So, on the same vein, I am going to call up my friend Anne. Come on, Anne. I want to spotlight that little video with you because I want to do a test. Anne, have you had an email? This won't embarrass you too much. I just want to give a check for everybody to do. This is a site called Have I Been Pwned? And it collects all of these giant databases that are for sale on the dark web for super cheap or free. that bad guys have access to. So this aggregates all that data to let you know if your stuff has been involved in a breach. So, Anne, do you have an email address that you've had for a while?
Yes.
All right. Tell me what it is.
It's Hutch is on at fcchamber.org.
Hutch is on at FC Chamber. All right. That look right?
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to find out if it's been involved in any breaches. Oh, no. Anne, here's what happened. Adobe was breached. You use that to log in. Animoto was breached. These this one called Collection. This one called Collection was a giant group of a lot of different breaches. Some were known, some were unknown, that was released. And look at the information they got. In Adobe, this was 2013, but they got the emails, password hints, passwords, and usernames. In Animoto was July of 2018. Dates of birth, email addresses, locations, names, and passwords. Here, Evite was breached. Some of these were a combo list. Again, it wasn't individual ones that you had registered for. They just took a whole bunch of data they found. LinkedIn, almost all of us got caught up in the LinkedIn one. Ticketfly, trick spam bot, verifications. A lot of these are very common, but look at the data they got. Email addresses and passwords, IP addresses, email addresses, genders, passwords, physical addresses. All of this information is out there associated with that email address for people to buy or steal. Yay! Now, Anne, I have good news for you. If you have a unique, unguessable password for every single site you visit, and you don't reuse passwords, none of this matters. Are you okay, Anne? Anne? Oh, Anne.
No.
I know. It's very hard. So if you have not changed your username password combo since 2018 or 2019, you're in trouble. So someone just asked, what happens if you forget your password to LastPass? Well, they give you, it's hard. It's hard. And sometimes you're just screwed. Like my husband forgets his and then he's just screwed and then he doesn't listen to me and I kind of don't want to talk about it anymore. Let's just move on from that topic. He doesn't listen to me either. But a lot of us reuse those passwords. So you need to use something like LastPass. If you're using Chrome or Safari or Firefox or Microsoft Edge, they've gotten a lot better with their security. They're still not as secure as a tool like LastPass. So you might use LastPass. You might use 1Password, the number 1Password. There's one called Dashlane that you can use. There are several that are really good, and you can keep track of them. You need to have a unique, unguessable password for every single site. Thank you, Anne, for your help. You were very brave. Now let me show you this. This is a place where you can put in your password, your common password that you've been using for a while, just to see if it's shown up in a lot of database breaches. Now, it's not associated with your email. These are just giant dumps of passwords that they have that you can check against. If you want to, you can check it here. So here's one I used to use before I was enlightened. This I thought was so clever. See, it's not going to show y'all it all. It comes out in little dots. I thought this was so clever. And look, 330 times before it's shown up in these databases. What happens is there's a giant pile of usernames and password combos and usernames and passwords that these software tools combine very, 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 very quickly to try a brute force attack. At least once a week, my little website, yournerdybestfriend.com, my little website is attacked. Every single week, I get a note saying there was a brute force attack. They tried all these combinations and then they went away. And it's because they're trying for the lowest hanging fruit. They're trying for people who keep using their same username and password combo. Here's another thing that's happening, and this may make this this session more a little bit more PG than we want it to be, but it's important to talk about because it's caught up a lot of people. So you might get a spam email that says, "Hi, I know that your password is this and your email is this. I have installed software on your computer and I am using your webcam to watch your computer when you are watching porn. And if you don't pay me this many Bitcoin, I am going to send that video to everybody you know because I have all of your contacts and I know everything about you, and all that's going to be public because I am videotaping you while you are watching porn." Yeah. And you're like, "But I don't watch porn on this computer." You know what I mean? And you're like, "What is happening?" So some people, it's not illegal to watch porn. So some people are like, "Oh my God, maybe they're watching me watch porn." And they freak out and they pay the ransom. And other people say, "I don't watch porn on this computer." And they click through. Well, guess what? Even that click gets you to a malware site. So they kind of manipulate you in two different ways. If you are vulnerable in that category, they get you. And if you are not vulnerable in that category, but you want to find out why they're horrible people, they get you. Your family members are falling for this. Your colleagues are falling for this. And it's a horrible thing that horrible people do. But we all need to be aware of those kind of things so that we can combat them and understand how to fix them. And if you have a unique, unguessable password, again, write this down, a unique, unguessable password for every single site you visit, you're going to be okay, or much more okay than other people. All right. So we tried out that. Now it's time for lunch. Lunch is so wonderful. It's time to relax. Nope. It's time to worry about where your kids are because he is in the system where he does a half day of school and he's going home because that's what the school district is doing. And you said, "Please text me when you get home." Does this look familiar? Yeah, that's not very funny, right? How many of y'all know about Life 360? Life 360 is one of my favorite tools. We don't like to call it a stalking tool, but that's what it is. With Life 360, you install it on all your family members' phones. So then you know where they are, where they aren't, how fast the car's going that they're in, and how fast the car is braking. And Casey just wrote to me, "Life 360 is life." Yes. Again, we don't call it stalking, but that's really what it is. To me, it's not about controlling where your kids are. What it is about that peace of mind. I stalk my husband. I fully admit it. He knows I do. I'm like, "Hey, how's that liquor store?" And it's not because I am trying to stalk him. It's because I want to know, is he at work? I won't call him in the office. Is he at the grocery store? Oh, okay. Well, I'll call him and remind him to pick up something. And I just check out where he is. He's also an Ironman, and they used to train for all day, with the triathlon stuff. Crazy people. And I would want to know, is he dead? These are things I want to know. Is he on the road, or is he at a hospital, or is he at the bar after all the training for the day? So I use those tools not necessarily to stalk, but to make sure that I know where they are and I understand like when the best time to work with him is, that kind of thing. All right, now you get another email. and it's from your nerdy best friend. And she says, gosh, I see all those cool things you're doing with that technology, and you've got all these things that are going on. What in the world is that? I would love to know more. And you're like, oh, wonderful. I just sent you an email that has a link to a 1-hour program that you're going to want to see totally about advanced Zoom techniques. Well, that's all fine and dandy, Beth, but who has 1 hour, right? So I sent you this link. Here is my 1 hour advanced Zoom technique class. It is, 56 and a half minutes. Nobody's got time for that. So you're going to use a tool called, I think it's called Video Tickle. I think it's a ridiculous name. I don't really know what it means. Videotical? Anyway, you take a YouTube link and you paste it there, and it turns it into an article. It uses the closed captioning, and it even generates screenshots. So instead of having to watch a 1 hour program, I can just scroll through and say, okay, it looks like she's putting those slides over videos. What's that all about? So I can take a look and get the information from here rather than trying to find time out of my day or skipping around that message and trying to find a little bit of information that I want in there. Now I've got the transcript. I can see all of the tools she's using, and I can go back in and look at it myself when it's convenient to me. All right, let's go back to our day. Videotical. You're working away, and one of the things I want you to think about is how you can reclaim some time. This tool is called If This Then That. It's IFTTT. That's the way I say it. IFTTT. And it's a multi-app automator. Now they just last month decided they wanted to make money, what have you. And so they went to a paid version, but they do have a free version still. But it creates these tiny little recipes that work behind the scenes. If it's going to rain tomorrow, send me a text message at 7 a.m. If I'm driving past the grocery store, remind me to check my list. If this, then that. I used to spend a lot of time before sessions getting ready. And so now I have to pump myself up, and I have to turn on certain lights and things like that. And now I've automated it. Watch this. Alexa, let's go. Watch behind me.
Great. I will handle your session preparation. Initiating atmosphere. Initiating encouragement. You are ready to go. Break a leg.
Ta-da! So IFTTT did all of that for me by putting it all together in one little set. Actually, that was just the smartphone, and it did everything for me. It's so much easier than trying to keep track of all the little things and take those tasks. Oh my God. I just forgot to turn off my phone. I'm so sorry. See, it's this really cute purse, and I sometimes forget. I'm sorry. Hold on just a second. Hold on. Hello? No, I'm not busy. It's cool. It's a guy saying, pretend that this is a real phone call and get yourself out of this meeting. Because 30 seconds ago, I pushed a button on my watch that said, get me out of this meeting. And my phone rang, and I could be like, oh, this is important. I'll be back, never. Yeah. All right, now it is getting close to the end of the day. Now, Anne gave me a couple more minutes, so I'm going to finish up this end of the day and give you some other things to think about. You've got a phone call, and if you are not using Otter yet, you don't know how to live. What Otter does is it uses artificial intelligence to do conference session recordings. So watch when I am talking, immediately it is transcribing. I use this for all my sales calls now so that I can go back and look at the notes. every single thing that I'm saying is being transcribed. Then it's going to use artificial intelligence to sweep back through and clean it up. After it does that, it's going to identify the speakers and give me keywords so I can find the main topics. This is fantastic, so I can focus. Remember, we can't process more than 3 messages at a time in a time of stress. So this gives us that security that we have all of our notes without losing things. All right, use the client meeting. Everything's going great. And it is getting to be the end of the day. And what a day it has been. Using technology, you have done alarms and sleep monitoring, maps and directions, email, scheduling, collaboration, communication, outsourcing, workouts, automation, security, online meetings, shopping and recommendations, and graphics and multimedia. You are leaving your building and you are walking through the parking lot. And creepy guy is in the parking lot. Now, there are some gentlemen on this call who don't know what we're talking about, but every single woman on this call has been in a parking lot where you felt uncomfortable because there's somebody who's creepy. I use this tool called Noonlight. Noonlight is a button. If you're feeling uncomfortable, if you get in if creepy guy gets in an elevator with you or something and doesn't have a mask on, all that kind of stuff. If you're feeling uncomfortable, you put your thumb on this button. When you take your thumb off, you have 10 seconds to put in a code. If you don't put in a code, police are notified of your location and your information. It even works with smart speakers now. You can say, I don't know, want to say your name, you know who, tell Noonlight I need help, and they will summon professional help to your house with a click. Now, they played around with the pricing a little bit, but it's very reasonable and it gives me such peace of mind. Now it's the end of the day and it's the last crisis of the day. Again, your phone rings. This time it's Anne, and she's like, gosh, we had such a good speaker with Beth Z last year, and we want to do even better. So could you please just watch 6 or 8 or 10 hours of other speakers' material just so that we can find someone as wonderful as last year? And then you break out the most important tool I can give you. It's called No. I used to have an app called the Big Box of No, but it died. So I have created a page for you with all kinds of different voices, and you just go there and push a button for Anne to tell her no. Like this.
Sorry. My mom says no.
No. Just no. Really?
Let me think it over. Well, no. Yeah. I don't think so.
All right, I have a big finish. Are you ready for my big finish? And would you let people know they can text the word nerd to 66866? I have handouts and bonus handouts on top of it. I've got extra special things that I put in that folder for y'all of even other presentations. So you have all of the tools that I could ever possibly give you. But I have a big finish. You ready?
Our nerdy time is through, but Beth Z is always here for you. Your nerdy best friend.com.
Yay! Thanks for listening.
Thank you so much, Beth. This is fantastic. So many things for us to all consider and do better in the future, as well as making our lives easier. We so appreciate it. We did get one question while you were talking about DinoPass. Any thoughts there?
I have never heard of DinoPass. My rule about those kind of password tools is that you go with the top 5. You don't want Joe's Garage password manager, because if Joe gets a girlfriend and moves out of the garage, we're in trouble. So I go with the top 5. Dashlane, 1Password, RoboForm, M-Secure, the letter M is one, and then LastPass. There are others out there. Just make sure you use something that has the best reputation possible. DinoPass sounds cute, but I haven't checked it out yet.
Great. Thank you. Well, I've been a longtime fan of yours, Beth, and I subscribe to your weekly email. You want to talk a little bit about that resource that people can easily get a hold of?
Well, gosh, Anne, I'm so glad you asked. Thank you for letting me do the shout out. That's when you text the word nerd to 66866. You'll be able to sign up for it. It comes out every week. I focus on like 1 or 2 tools a week, and then I put in something funny. And that's and then I have a picture of a cat. That's pretty much what it is, but it's really all about giving you more tools like this every week in your inbox so you have them as resources.
Excellent. Thank you. And remind us one more time, Beth, what's your website and where can people find you?
Your nerdy best, I said nerdy, not dirty. It's been happening. Your nerdybestfriend.com. And I am Beth at yournerdybestfriend.com. And because I am your nerdy best friend, if you have other questions, please email me directly.
Thank you so much, Beth. I wish we were in a giant meeting room that we could all put a big hug around you and clap you off the stage. But we want all of our attendees to know that in addition to getting the resources via text, if you go to our website, there's also a link for you to download some items, and we'll also be emailing those out to anybody who is registered for today's session. So bonus materials abound, and definitely a great opportunity for you to get smart. So thanks again, Beth.
Thanks.
So our primary goal today was to provide all of you with resources and tools to make you more successful. Our nerdy best friend definitely helped us achieve that goal. We also wanted to take a moment to celebrate small business and its impact on our community. Got some interesting data points that I'd love to share with all of you relative to that very concept. According to the U.S. Census Bureau Statistics for Business in 2017, small business has been defined as having at least one employee at some point during the year. Of the more than 9,000 unique firms in Larimer County, 8,000 of them are small businesses with fewer than 20 employees. Despite that small headcount, these firms employ more than 30,000 people and provide annual payroll of more than $1 billion. What's equally fascinating is that the overwhelming majority of businesses are not just small, but they're very small. They're oftentimes called micro businesses. In 2017, the IRS processed over 35,000 returns from Larimer County that suggested that the filer was an unincorporated sole proprietor. This data source captures micro businesses, startups, and entrepreneurial citizens with side gigs. There's no doubt that small business makes our community interesting, it makes it fun, it makes it better. Fort Collins Chamber has had the great privilege of celebrating small business over the last 8 years, recognizing new kids on the block, small employers, medium employers, and large employers. We tip our virtual hat to all of our past Small Business of the Year winners and thank them for making Northern Colorado special. Our final goal of the celebration was to provide you, our small business members and community members, with tools to help remind our community about the value of small business. Our friends at Jet Marketing have created a toolkit that will be posted on our small business page and emailed to each of you. This toolkit includes social media posts, images, and messages that you can use to tell the story of small business. Let's take a few minutes to walk through the kit. The kit includes hashtags like, NoCo loves small business, how to support my small business, shop local, support local, Northern Colorado small business. The kit also includes actual posts that you can download and use on your social media sites. It's centered around 3 themes that we think are very exciting. The first is how to support my small business and other local small businesses. Behind my small business is theme number 2, and theme number 3 is celebrating small businesses like ours. Let's check out theme number 1. Included in the kit are these very specific reminders that you can share across your social media sites, reminding people of some simple things that they can do. It's a great list and some super fun things that I know I'm planning to do, but as simple as leave a positive review. As a business, you can ask people to leave a positive review. You can also buy a friend a gift, send a kind note, even volunteer. All of these are included in the kit along with suggested text that you can easily throw into your social media and any other way that you're talking to your businesses. Here's what the kit looks like on page 1. Again, it outlines the theme, it shows you some hashtags, and then gives you text that you can easily copy and paste and throw onto your social media sites. As well, we've got some amazing images that are available for you to download and use with your social media campaigns. These become fun ways to share a message and encourage others to join in celebrating small business. Theme number 2, Behind My Small Business, is designed to help remind the public what it takes to make small business work. This theme encourages you to tell your story and includes conversation starters like, I started my small business because, something you might not know about my small business, and who my small business supports. These prompts really help you to create a personal connection with your customers while sparking emotion. And we also have some images here. Again, we encourage you to download these images, use them anywhere that you would like to talk to customers or future customers, and make sure that you personalize. Our final theme in the packet is celebrating small business like ours, and this expands your reach to your peers, other small businesses. The posts in theme 3 include comments like, we have a deep love and commitment to our community. We know you, our neighbors. Our kids go to school with yours. Again, it provides that amazing way for you to be able to tell a story about why your business is important, but as well, how much you appreciate the community and are a part of it. I just love these images. They are really fantastic. And again, hats off to our team at Jet Marketing for creating such wonderful items that, again, we'll share with the larger community. So we're going to invite you to join us, become a part of our campaign, to help to tell the story of small business throughout our community. You can go online to our website, download the kit, create your own social media calendar, and then begin to help us push messages of the value of small business and why people should be supporting them. We also want to invite you to join us for our virtual trade show on December 3rd. We encourage you to use the next several weeks as an opportunity to send the message of small business and then come join us back on December 3rd to celebrate. This will be a great opportunity to learn about other small businesses in Northern Colorado and to make connections. Keep an eye on the Chamber website and your email for more details and registration information. It's time for us to bring our small business celebration to a close. As a reminder, as attendees at today's event, you'll get the bonus handouts from Beth Z, the Small Business Toolkit Compliments of Jet Marketing, and access to this video. We'll also have additional tools and opportunities for your business on our small business page of the Chamber's website. They include things like access to small business development training seminars, resources from the city, and more. Make sure you check it out. Before we go, we do want to thank Beth Z, our keynote speaker, for her time and insight. We also want to do a shout out to Jet Marketing for creating an amazing toolkit that will help us tell the story of small business. And then, of course, we want to thank all of our sponsors that were able to make today a free event for our business community. They include Ent Credit Union, BizWest Media, the Colorado and Local IQ, Elevations Credit Union, Total Facility Care, Williamson & Co., 212-degree coaching, Independent Financial, Town Square Media, Alpha Graphics, KRFC 88.9 FM Radio Fort Collins, Mantooth Marketing, and Sinorama. And most of all, thank you to all of our small business members for making our community special. Thank you to each of you for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you at our next virtual event. Have a great afternoon.